What would you say if you could have like an introduction to yourself and then your business and everything? Hey, there's Mike. Let's go.
Hey,
Sorry to
Michael,
interrupt. What's up, Edgar?
what's up, man? Good stuff. So repeat the question. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So just kind of an introduction to yourself and your history and culinary and what you're up to today.
Yeah. So, name's Edgar Gamez, and my journey really began when I was about 16, 17 years old. That's whenever I first got introduced to the world of restaurants. I was in high school. I got a job in a deli in back in my hometown, and initially I started as a stock boy, but then they threw me into the kitchen out of nowhere, and I just started helping, and I kind of fell in love with the pace of it. Um, it's fast. It's you got to be quick. You got to learn. You got to interact with people, which is something that I had never really done. I was always an introvert. And then whenever I came here for college, I always worked serving jobs, but kind of serving and the kitchen always goes hand in hand. And I always paid attention anywhere I went to. I always kept an eye out. I've always had this mentality of, the more you know, the more you know, the more you're worth kind of thing. The more you know, the more like you can just, I don't know, do things, achieve things. And then also one thing that I noticed whenever I came here to Tallahassee for college is that Tallahassee was missing it was missing authentic Mexican, which is like every Mexican restaurant says like, oh, authentic, blah blah, but it's not. It really isn't. That's why on our name we have the word homemade because I just didn't want to like have the same word that every Mexican restaurant has on their name and stuff. But I had spoken to my family a long time ago, and I told them like, if we ever have the opportunity to open up a restaurant, we should. I think it'll do really well. Like I know that our flavors would do really well here, and people would really enjoy them. And then yeah, the opportunity eventually presented itself back in like 2018, a year or so right before the pandemic. That's when everything started, kind of. I can go on and on, but I don't want to deviate too much from the question.
I don't know. That was beautiful. Mike, do you have any thoughts on like how you want? I let Edgar know pretty much we're going to prompt him with a few questions and stuff, but to kind of go any direction you want with it in terms of like how deep you want to talk about your story and everything, or you
Yeah.
don't want to,
Okay.
have to.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, I want to share as much as I can. But yeah, then I don't know, it was, it was hard, like going through the process of just because I had managed, I had bartended, I had served, I had done pretty much all the positions except, work in the kitchen. And the way that I always thought of like opening up a restaurant would be like, oh, I'd just open it, I'd manage the front, that's where my experience kind of lies, and then I'll just find people that work the kitchen, and initially that's what I try to do. But being a business owner in the restaurant world and not knowing how to cook is really hard. So, and that's something that I learned really quick because just finding good kitchen people is really hard. So I kind of learned right away that I needed to throw myself in there and start learning. And then that's whenever I just kind of began my journey in the kitchen. And there's a guy that's been with us since day one, and he's the one that's really taught me a lot. Everything about, temperatures, cooking at high heat, sauteing, so much. And going back a little bit before to all of that, like whenever like I was opening up the restaurant, there's just there's no format. There's no like, hey, you gotta do this, like all in like in an order. You just throw yourself, and you're kind of trying to bring a thousand pieces together to so that you can open up on a certain day. And it's really hard to bring all those pieces together. It was not easy, and I didn't know what I was doing. So but I always had, and I always have had this mentality of, just figure it out, ask questions, make the phone calls, write your things that you got to do, tackle your things more than anything. Cause, I don't know. And that's always helped me out because if I would have given up after, the first few obstacles that I faced, Maria would have never been a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that part was hard. All the inspections and everything, and just not having someone with you alongside that's guiding you and telling you like, "Hey, make sure that you have this and that." For example, one of the last obstacles that we had right before opening it is whenever we had the inspection, there was a certain part of the kitchen that didn't have the proper drop ceiling, and it's
Oh,
just such a simple thing, like it had the porphyros type of ceiling. So like, I panicked and I was like, I called like 20 people and it was like, hey, can you help us out? And so many of them, they're busy for days and months out that they couldn't make space for me. And then there was this guy, me Stringer. He was like, he listened to my story. He took the time and he was like, look, man, I'm really busy, but I'm gonna be out there at 8 p.m. and because I told him like I have another inspection in like 2 days or something. He's like, "You sound like a nice guy, so I'm gonna help you out, man. I know what it's like to be in a pickle." And he was so nice and he helped me out, But and then eventually we passed our final inspection. But yeah, we just had a whole bunch of those inspections and they were just really hard.
yeah.
And then you feel very victorious once you like you're done and you're like, wow, I did it. It's like that's just the beginning. That's not even I mean, that's just a little, a little checkpoint in this journey is but it's not the end. That was just the beginning. That's where like the real hard work actually began. That's initially whenever we first opened up, I was working about 85 85 to 90 hours a week. And that's because back then we were opened 7 days a week. And that was really hard. Didn't have the staff, we didn't have the income, the revenue to be paying people. And that's one thing that always has helped me out. I've always been really good with numbers. So I've always been able to like tell like, numbers tell a story. And if you can't read numbers, you're going to have a really hard time. But I've always been able to like read numbers and like numbers tell me the story that I need to know. And whenever I needed to figure out whether, I could hire, fire, whatever, like being able to do that really helped me out. And then, and that's whenever I had to roll up my sleeves and get in the kitchen and learn the kitchen and really learn the menu that's my family's, learn the food that we cook and stuff. And, one thing that I wish I would have known is really how hard it is. You think that you're going to open up a restaurant, you're going to sell food and that you're just going to make money, but you're not. It's not that easy. It's really hard. It took a total of like, what was it, like 4 years for us to like get out of what I call the red, and enter a more yellowish kind of green side of like, operating the business. But it took a long time, and even to this point, I don't think we are where we would love to be. There's places that I would love to take Maria Maria. I have a vision for it, and I'd love to. Um, do all those things, but it's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. Like I want to franchise Maria Maria. I want to pivot and change the concept a little bit, something that's a little bit more easily franchisable. Because right now the operation that we have is just too difficult. Michael, you've seen the menu. It's a big menu, so not any person can go in there and learn what we do and do it. So, and that's why like I've been thinking and for the second location that we do, I wanna I wanna change the concept a little bit and take it to a different direction. I mean, one thing that I also want to do is I want to put some of our products on the shelves. I feel like that's a very sustainable business for restaurants, putting things on the shelves, especially, yeah, like if it's something good and you feel like it's better than other products out there, like putting something on the shelves is one of those aspirations. Because I feel like, if we were to franchise Maria and having product on the shelves, I think they both would kind of help each other with like the branding and stuff like that. But yeah, we have big aspirations, we have big dreams. Just gotta take it one day at a time and take the steps, make the phone calls, wake up, write down your things that you gotta do and achieve on a weekly basis and just tackle things slowly. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like such an awesome, rewarding, but hard and time consuming journey to open a restaurant, especially what the cuisine and making sure the cuisine stays pretty much how it started. And that when you bring in people and stuff, like training that and the mission behind it and all that, that's pretty tough alongside the logistical and building costs,
Yeah.
food costs and all that stuff. So
Yeah, man, it's hard. You know, one of the things that's also really hard is the continuous coaching because you can mention something to someone like, hey, do this like that, or hey, I want this like this, or whatever. But, people are going to be people where everyone's different. Everyone's got a different mentality on how to do things. And you can't, I don't know, I try not to lose my patience with people just because I understand. I don't know, like not everyone can think or act or do things like me or the way I exactly want them. So it's a continuous like coaching, like, hey, just remember, and being kind and understanding. Like I've always thought this, I don't let go of too many people just because I think it's such a bad investment. Even like I mean, yeah, you got to let go of toxic people, definitely. Like, toxicity in a workplace is bad, but if they're not toxic and people show up on time and people do the best they can, give you the best they can, even though they're not the employee you want them to be, like, I'll take that any day over people who are late, over people who don't listen. And I don't know, but yeah, I don't let go of too many people. I've always had this mentality of like, if you don't fire your family, no matter what they do in life to you, or like through the time that you've interacted with family, like I'm sure you've had a lot of fights with your siblings, with cousins or whatever. And it's like, and if you don't fire them, why are you gonna fire someone who's been with you and who's giving you the best that they can, and giving you the time of their life to do what I'm working on, so like to help me achieve our vision at Maria Maria. So but yeah, I have like certain mentalities like that like kind of help me do what I'm doing because I don't know. I've seen restaurants, I've seen other places, and they just fire people left and right, and it's like revolving doors of people coming in, and then it's like I just don't think I don't know. I don't think that's very sustainable for a business. Like always continuously coaching and teaching people from zero, from ground zero, and then like letting them go and stuff. Like I don't know, I don't know, it's not my style.
gotcha. One thing that I think you and Mike have touched on, I'm very curious about, and I'm sure others are, but what is, when you started Maria Maria, like what was the driving idea and purpose behind it to make you want to invest this much time and get it to where it's at?
I don't I love business. I love business, and where I see opportunity, I kind of go towards it. And I I wanted I had a vision as well. I always kind of forget about that vision. Every now and then I get like certain visions, certain things happen in my life that like I'm like I need to do that. And I had a vision about Maria Maria. It was a long time ago, and I had never even thought about opening up a restaurant. I really only ever thought about being a manager for the restaurants that I worked for and stuff. But whenever I had that vision, I knew that I needed to do it. And I think it's because having that vision and like having those feelings whenever they happened, I knew that people needed to taste and experience Maria Maria. So I think it was a mixture of me being such a exploring entrepreneur. Because I mean, my first business was a cleaning business, and it's still operating today. So I mean, just going from a cleaning business to a restaurant, it kind of doesn't make sense. So I think it's a little bit of that explorer in me of wanting to go and try different things and achieve different things. But it was also part of like that vision that I had where I kind of felt like people needed to experience that type of cuisine where it's like, it feels homemade. Like, I mean, people comment and this is the only reason why we keep on going because I've never seen the reactions that I see at Maria Maria in any other restaurant. Like in any other restaurant, you go, servers checking on you. Oh, it's great. Thank you. Thank you. Like that's what people would say. Like, oh, it's great. Thank you for checking in on us or whatever. At Maria Maria, people have a different reaction. and they talk about how it's different, it's clean, it's not oily, it's flavorful, it's fresh, and that's something that kind of just reassures us that like, hey, like we have something beautiful here, like let's keep on working hard. And I think those reactions are something that also keep everyone else in there going, because it's not just me, it's other people that see it. It's hot in the kitchen, you know, it's my sister in the front. It's my nephew who's been with us since day one, and he's kind of making a career out of this. Like, so it's not just me who sees these things. It's also them. And for me that's beautiful. And also like one thing that I've noticed here at Maria that I've never noticed anywhere else is that like our, I don't know how to call this. I'm gonna call it rate of recurrence or rate of return. It's fast. If we have a first timer visiting us, that first timer is gonna be back that same week again, which they always come back that same week. And people are like embarrassed. They're like, we were here just yesterday and we're here again. And I'm like, hey, we're happy. Like, don't feel embarrassed. Like, but I've never seen that at any other restaurant. You know, normally at any other restaurant, people rotate the places they go and dine at. You know, people rotate them throughout the weeks for months. And someone would, if it's not Chick-fil-A, because people go to Chick-fil-A a lot, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know, like any other restaurant, people would visit it once a month, once every 2 weeks or so. But with us, like people visit us back right away, and those things just kind of keep us going. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's sounds like the brand and kind of the, I don't know if you'd say it's expectation, but the level that you all at Maria operate at, people like identify with that. That's what they're seeing. It's through that food and stuff. And that's become synonymous at some, I would imagine for some, it's synonymous with like the Maria brand. So that's really cool.
Yeah. People feel at home there, man. They always talk about how warm and homey it feels. There's people that go and dine with us regularly and they still grab their plates and either take them to near the trash can where it gives a hint of like, hey, this is where plates go or something. And they already know that we bus tables. And there was this one time that I told this gentleman that dines with us regularly, I'm like, hey, like we bus tables, don't worry about it. And he was like, I can't just leave my plates here, man. I feel like I'm at home. And I was like, oh, that's powerful. You know, I was like, that's a powerful comment. I was like, oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. But, you know, like we bust tables.
A small thing, but it's huge for them.
Yeah, it really is. It keeps us going. And I think I shared the comment with everyone and they were like, that's nice, man. Yeah.
Don't just want to make sure time is within expectation. It's 11:33, and so are you okay to add more time, or are you kind of strict and you have to go?
I'm okay adding more time. I do see that someone sent me a message that I do need to check. I don't know if I can do that right now. But yeah, if you guys have more questions, I can definitely keep on going.
Okay, Mike, do you have any?
Did you guys contextualize the film at all?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Edgar, I'm wondering how you think about like competition in Tallahassee, whether it's you versus the less authentic Mexican shops, or whether it's like you and the other restaurateurs of Tallahassee against like the other cities, nations, etc., you know? How do you think about all that stuff?
I loved it. My mentor, he always shared with me this line that stuck with me, and he always said, "The sun shines on everyone. The sun shines on everyone," and that always kind of stuck with me. Like, you know, so anytime I see like new Mexican restaurants pop up, or even like the restaurants that are already existing, it's like, hey, you know, the sun shines on all of us. Like, it's okay, you know, that we're competing. We all each have our own different menus. We all each have our different flavors, and we all each have our different clientele that's following us, you know, and I'm not envious. I'm not jealous. I'm not that kind of person. So like, I really do feel that way. Like the way that my mentor like shared that with me, I feel like that, you know, like it's like, I love competition. It's something that helps you keep on growing and learning. But something that I try to avoid doing is looking to the sides. I don't like, you know, I imagine other business owners, you know, checking out other restaurants' websites or checking out other restaurants' menus or visiting them to see what they're doing. And it's like I don't do any of that just because I want to stick to like my vision, our flavors, our menu, like what we know. Like and that's just it. Like I just stick to like what we're doing and I don't look to the sides. Just because I think like I don't know, I feel like that could kind of change like if I really were to like start looking at other restaurants to see how they do things or what they're doing with their menus and stuff, what their prices are, I think I would allow those things to change and affect the way that we do things, the way that we update things, our prices, our items on the menu. You know, like hundreds of people have gone over to the restaurant and asked about chimichangas. And I'm like, I'm so sorry, we don't have them. You know? And it's just one of those things like that I just focus on the things that we're doing and that's just it. I don't know if that kind of helped answer the question.
No, I love your answer. That's a beautiful concept. But you still love competition, but you also recognize that the sun shines on all of us. You know, I'm going to stick in my lane and do the best version of myself and be competitive with myself. And I wish you guys the best of luck. So that's beautiful. I'm wondering, Edgar, like one of the themes we sort of have been unpacking in the film is like confidence to open your own restaurant, confidence to bet on yourself, confidence to keep going every day. But then also like that sort of ego that can maybe come in at times. How do you think about those two things? And did you ever notice like you seem like I mean, not you seem, I had known you for years now. I know how humble you are. But did you ever notice in a younger self where you have more of an ego? And then, you know, just tell me how you think about all of that kind of stuff.
I feel like I've always tried to keep it pretty humble. I've always tried to be this person that I feel like I am right now. You know, I've worked really hard to be this just because I always felt like, you know, being someone with a big ego or something like that, it's not really qualities of a leader. I've always felt, and I feel like, you know, there are leaders out there that have a big ego and have a certain type of, I don't know, those kind of things. But I've always felt like, nah, I feel like more than anything, I'm just a confident person. I've, um, I always feel like I can do things and achieve things, you know, if I set my mind to. Just because I feel like any obstacle, any problem that comes my way, I'm gonna dissect it. You know, I'm gonna look at it and I'm gonna see what phone calls I need to make, what meetings I need to make, what steps I need to take, you know, who do I need to ask for help. So it's more of like it's not an ego thing. It's just a thing of confidence, like just feeling like I can achieve things if I set my mind to them. And I've always had that mentality, you know, like opening up my first business when I was 23-ish, 23, 24. I didn't know what I was doing, you know. And I think now that, you know, Maria is where it's at, which is not in the most grandiose of places, but I mean, I feel I love it. You know, I'm confident of what we're doing and who we are and everything. But I feel like I feel more victorious than I felt when we were struggling a lot. But I don't feel like it's like it's my ego. I don't feel like it's like I feel like I'm better than others or anything like that at all. Like I feel like those aren't qualities that I wanna have. I wanna have like the more like chill, humbling qualities and stuff like that. But yeah.
So where do you think confidence comes from? It sounds like you've had it from a young age, but what do you think the input is for that feeling of confidence?
I think confidence comes from two places. And I don't know if I'm crazy or not. I don't know. I think confidence comes from one, you know, just having small achievements. And they don't have to be like, I opened up this business kind of achievement. It's just small little things, you know, doing the things you got to do daily, no matter how big, how small they are, you know, just doing your bed in the morning, you know, um, putting your clothes away, or I don't know, just doing certain things. I feel like they give you certain confidence of like you're doing things. I don't know. I'm not sure how to explain. And then the second place I feel like confidence comes from is the universe. I think the universe gives you uh certain things, and I feel like the universe has kind of given me certain confidence. I don't know if I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like I've lived many lives. I'm not really religious, I grew up being religious, but I haven't been practicing the religion that I was raised with. But I do feel like, our souls, I don't know, I feel like our souls come from places, and I feel like my soul has been in certain places throughout its history. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like confidence comes from those two places, just your small achievements, your small things that you do. Whether it's a good work at work, I don't know. And then the universe, I feel like the universe kind of gives you those things too. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, that's beautifully put. I love how you described like the small wins day to day, starting out with making your bed. I agree with you. I think that's where some of it comes from because you fulfill all those obligations that no one will ever see, but you
Yeah.
know you did it and you know you're going to keep doing it. So thank you for sharing, Edgar.
Yeah. No, thank you guys.
Anything else
Um,
would you want to say on behalf of Maria, or even the cleaning business, or like anything you think you could see yourself sharing or would be valuable to you?
I'm just gonna reiterate on one of the things that I've been saying is take the steps towards doing what you gotta do. Like, don't, make the phone calls. Like, I think anyone can do this. It doesn't take a special person to open up a business and have something beautiful like that. I think anyone can do it if people just kind of take the steps. I think it's nowadays it's very easy for people to back down. It's very easy for people to like just come across obstacles and just be like, I can't do this, and just throw the towel. But if you just persevere and dissect your problems and figure out solutions, like I think anyone can achieve anything they set their mind to. So I think that's it.
Let's go.
Hex yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
Well,
you guys.
thank you for your time, Edgar.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, appreciate you guys. It's been a pleasure.
And
Thanks for thinking of me, Michael.
I think of you often. Wish I could see you more. Living up in Atlanta now, but we'll make sure and stop by Maria some point next couple weeks because Chris and I will be having a fundraising event next Thursday for the film, and we're going to be showing a screening of it. So we'll be down in Tallahassee, and that's the last note here. Is we would love. I know you're a busy man, but we would love if you could stop by and check out the film.
Yeah.
It is, I think they're open hours, so that might be too much to ask, but if you find a way to be free, we will send you an invite.
Okay. Yeah. Send me, if I can make it happen, I'd love to.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Well,
All
thank
right,
you so
Chris and
much, Edgar.
Michael. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good day.
Yes,
Later,
you
man.
too. Adios.